Picture this. It's 7:40 a.m. We're in a tiny, cramped apartment in Chicago. The morning light is dim, and there's this heavy, bleak atmosphere where literally the loudest sound in the whole room is the dull hum of a refrigerator. Every single morning at exactly 7:40 a.m., an alarm goes off on a boy named Daniel's phone. But here's the thing. It's not to wake him up. It's not a reminder to log on to work. He's just sitting there, alone, staring at the screen. He sets this alarm for one reason only, to look at a specific, unread text message. A message he never replied to.
Section 1. The unanswered message. The illusion of time. Now, to really understand the heavy silence of Daniel's life right now, we have to rewind 2 years. Back then, the picture was totally different. It was vibrant. He had a demanding job, a packed social calendar, big dreams, and a mother who lived out of state but made it an absolute point to call him almost every single day. But Daniel's constant, automatic response was always, "Mom, I'm busy, I'll call you later." It's a phrase we all use, right? Without even a second thought, but it perfectly illustrates this tragic illusion we all operate under. The belief that we always have more time, that later is just this guaranteed spot on our calendar. But as Daniel found out, later rarely comes.
Let's set the scene. It's incredibly late. The room is pitch black. Daniel just wrapped up a totally grueling night shift, the kind that just leaves you bone-tired, and he collapses onto his bed, exhausted. The only light in the entire room is the sudden, sharp glare of his phone screen, cutting through the dark. A quick buzz breaks the quiet. It's a text from his mom.
The notification glows right there on the screen. "Good night, sweetheart. I love you. Call me tomorrow if you can." Daniel looks at it, but man, the pull of sleep is just too heavy. He makes that totally ordinary, everyday calculation we've all made and thinks, "You know what? I'll just text her in the morning." He puts the phone face down. He chooses to wait.
Section 2. Tomorrow never came. The call that changed everything.
Morning did eventually roll around for Daniel, but when his phone finally rang, it wasn't his mom's name on the caller ID. It was a hospital. They were calling to report a sudden, fatal stroke. She hadn't survived the night. Tomorrow never came. The silence of that realization is just an absolute emotional gut punch. Daniel found himself reading her last text message again and again and again. "Call me tomorrow if you can." The finality of her passing instantly transformed those simple words into literally the heaviest thing in his life.
I should have replied. Over the following months, Daniel's life became this cinematic descent into total isolation. He completely stopped answering calls. He stopped seeing friends. No more birthdays, no more dinners. That vibrant life we saw him living completely vanished. He shut himself away in that dim Chicago apartment, living day in and day out with this one agonizing sentence echoing endlessly in his head.
Section 3. Open when you feel lost. A message from the past.
Fast forward through months of this crushing grief. It's a quiet, unassuming evening. Daniel is sitting alone at his desk, just mechanically cleaning out his email inbox to pass the time. Suddenly, a subject line catches his eye. Open when you feel lost. It was an old, unopened email from his mom. The cool glow of the monitor lights up his face, and you can see his hands visibly shaking as he hovers the mouse over the text. He clicks it. Inside is a message she had written years ago, seemingly just waiting in the digital ether for a moment exactly like this.
The email started like this. "Hi, my love. If you're reading this, it means life got hard again. I know you. You blame yourself for everything." Daniel's chest tightened as he read it. And then she offered him this profound, beautiful grace. She wrote, "You don't owe me perfect. You owe yourself happiness." Tears just began to blur his vision as the comforting weight of her absolving words washed over him. The email went on. She asked him to promise her something if she was ever no longer around. And she gave him a very clear set of instructions. Go outside, meet people, laugh loudly, live fully. Daniel whispered out loud to the empty room, "I can't," but he kept reading. Through this screen, she was pulling him back from the absolute brink of his grief, pointing him toward actionable, vibrant hope. Her final written plea was incredibly clear, and please stop saying you'll call people later. Life is shorter than we think. Reading that, Daniel's walls finally, completely shattered. He broke down, crying deeply for the very first time in months. The message he needed most had finally been delivered.
Section 4. The first call. Breaking the silence.
The very next morning, at exactly 7:40 a.m., his alarm rings just like it always did. He opens that unread text message again, but this time, instead of sinking back into the silence of his apartment, Daniel makes an active, conscious choice. He picks up the phone and actually calls someone. He calls his sister, and they talk for 2 straight hours. The next day, he calls an old friend, then his grandmother, then a coworker. As the weeks passed, you see this beautiful montage of recovery. The quiet apartment slowly fills back up with warm light, laughter, dinner plans, and weekend trips. He was finally honoring her wishes.
Exactly 1 year later, at 7:40 p.m., the lighting is warm. Daniel is hosting a small dinner party. His apartment is packed with friends, soft music is playing in the background, people are laughing loudly, just exactly like his mother asked. Daniel steps out onto his balcony, just pulling himself away from the noise for a second, and looks out at the sprawling, glowing city lights of Chicago.
He opens his phone and pulls up that old text message. "Good night, sweetheart. I love you." But this time, it doesn't carry that crushing weight of guilt. Daniel smiles through his tears, looks out at the city, and whispers, "I finally called back, Mom." He had made the call, not to her phone, but to the life she wanted for him.
Section 5. The lesson in regret. The unread messages in our lives. So taking a step back from Daniel's story, we hit on a truly universal truth. Regrets can actually become the lessons that change our lives forever. Daniel's painful realization about the illusion of later didn't destroy him in the end. Instead, through his mother's profound grace, it transformed his tragic delay into a beautiful catalyst. It pushed him toward deeper connections and immediate action. He learned the hard way that life is just way too short to leave the important things for tomorrow. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a direct question to think about. Who are you waiting to call later? Seriously, whose name is sitting right now in your unread messages while you tell yourself you'll get to it when things quiet down? Take Daniel's lesson to heart today. Don't wait for the alarm to ring tomorrow morning. Pick up the phone, make the connection, and live fully right now. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey today, and I really hope this sparks a beautiful conversation in your own life.